unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through it without any notes, but I won't rely heavily on them, hopefully. When I was growing up, television was considered to be pretty much mindless entertainment. If you watch too much television, you're going to turn into somebody with no thinking of their own, whatnot. And in large measure, there wasn't a lot of great television. There was some. There was a lot of it in the 70s, and then in the 80s and 90s, it kind of got off track. And then in the 2000s, reality television came along. Now, what I am hoping to do with my speech today is to inspire you with your television habits to check out some of the offerings that are out there today that are non-reality television. Because what has happened in the last decade is, well, first of all, the recession of 2008, I believe, changed the habits of a lot of people. It drove them back into their house, not going out as much because there wasn't as much disposable income. And I think as a result, people started looking to their home entertainment, their television, their Netflix, their movies, to provide the entertainment that they would be spending a lot of money on going out into bars, restaurants, and whatnot. So I think when that happened, it actually created a new golden age of television, in that a lot of actors that would not have done television in the past, because in the past, doing television for a movie actor was considered to be career suicide. You just didn't see it done very much at all. But in 1999, Martin Sheen made the decision to be a part of a show called The West Wing. Now, The West Wing was an ensemble show that had a lot of great talent. If you were to go back and look at the cast of that show when it ran and what those people are doing today, you'd be astonished, because there was a lot of talent. Rob Lowe was primarily a television or movie actor. He also was in that show. So I believe that was kind of when this new golden age of television began. The 50s were considered to be the original golden age of television in its infancy, because most of television back then was live. I mean, really live. It was like watching a play. I want to just read off some of the Emmy nominations from this year that just came out a few weeks ago, the 2015 Emmy nominations. For Best Actor, Liev Schreiber, Kevin Spacey, Jeff Daniels, and Kyle Chandler are among the actors nominated. All primarily movie actors, although Kyle Chandler did do Friday Night Lights. He started in movies. The Best Actresses, Claire Danes, Taraji P. Henson, Robin Wright, and Lily Tomlin, also primarily have been movie actresses their whole career. The talent that is in television today is much different than the talent that was in television in the past. And I believe that that has really opened a door to the way television even looks now. The shows I watch, among them are House of Cards, Mad Men, Orange is the New Black, and Homeland. Now some of those are on Netflix, some of those are on Showtime. There are shows I watch on HBO, and there are shows that I watch on regular network television. But what they all have in common is that they all look to me like watching an hour-long movie every week. They're totally different than what television used to be. Television used to be a long season. You would have television start in September and go all the way to May, and then you'd have reruns in the summer. By the end of the season, it really looked to me like they were stretching for ideas to get through the season. Now television, even network television, has went to a shorter season model. Shows on Netflix and Showtime and HBO are typically 10 to 12 episodes. So in 10 to 12 episodes, you are able to pack what used to be 26 episodes of content into 10 to 12, spending the money on each episode that really gives you a lot of what I call punch, power for your money, bang for your buck. Now, what's happened because of this is they've started attracting movie actors more and more and more. Now, last year, for example, Matthew McConaughey won Best Actor Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, and was also nominated for an Emmy in the same year. And they asked Matthew McConaughey why he chose to go into TV, and he said the answer is very easy for him: the quality. He said the specific quality of working on a show like True Detective, which he did in its first season, actually gave him more of a chance to stretch his wings than a movie would, because a movie is an hour and a half to 2 hours. But you take a show like True Detective, and you're doing a season of 8 to 12 episodes, but you're evolving the series as each episode goes, and the actors that appear in these series have a lot more room to grow as actors and actresses. The other thing that's attracting them to do television are the less episode models. They don't have to make the time commitment that they have to make to a movie. They can still do movies, but they can do a TV series and they can shoot it probably in 4 to 6 weeks, the whole season, and then they can go off and do movies and do the other things that they want to do. But they're still doing television and movies, and they're still evolving as performers because they're doing different types of things. They're not being pigeonholed into the same type of projects. I mean, Matthew McConaughey to me, for example, was some surfer dude that did movies like, you know, where he's stoned all the time. The last few years, Matthew McConaughey has become a serious actor all of a sudden, and part of that was his appearing in True Detective. So I think that the idea of getting away from watching reality television all the time, and I don't know if you guys do that, but I know that my mother-in-law would rather watch reality TV than regular scripted TV. I don't understand it, but that's the way she is. I believe for myself and for you as my audience that you're going to feel like you're not wasting away your time at home watching TV, if you do watch TV or Netflix or whatever it is, if you're watching more scripted shows that have quality. The shows that I mentioned have all been on for a few years, and there are more coming down the pike. I mean, there are actors right now. Halle Berry's a movie actress. She's doing a show. Later this year, Clive Owen, Robert De Niro, Paul Giamatti, and Maggie Gyllenhaal are all going to be launching new series. Just because you're a movie actor, though, does not guarantee that your series is going to be successful. Katherine Heigl was in a series earlier this year that got canceled after 1 year, but they are willing to try. The other thing that I believe that is making TV so much more compelling, one of the other things, is the idea of people that have worked in certain industries. I'm going to use the CIA as an example. The CIA has people that were in the CIA for a number of years and then they retired. Quite a few of them have went to Hollywood and became scriptwriters and consultants on television shows. There's a show on FX called The Americans. The Americans is based on something that's actually been happening in the US for a long time. There have been Soviet spies living in the United States since the 1930s that live as ordinary Americans. They speak accent-free English. They immerse themselves into the American culture. They're actually trained as children in the Soviet Union. They are, quote, Americanized. And then they come to the US and they live as US citizens and have regular jobs, but they're spies. Well, on this show, The Americans, it's about a couple in the 1980s when the Cold War heated up again under Reagan that were spies that owned a travel agency. This show is actually created, and the lead co-writer for the show is somebody by the name of Joel Weisberg, who retired from the CIA in 1994. He has to submit his scripts every week for the show to the CIA. The CIA sometimes will make him make cosmetic changes, but for the most part, they've let the project run the way it was designed to run. Now this is TV. This is on FX, almost a basic cable channel. Its seasons 12, 13 episodes. That's just one example that I'm going to use. So I think the shorter seasons, the idea that there are more quality shows available and actors and actresses that have appeared in movies and longer projects that are working in TV, that has helped create what a lot of people think is the new golden age of television. And the last point I want to make is on-demand television. On-demand television is awesome, if you ask me. The idea that I can, quote, cut the cord if I want to. I can just have Netflix, maybe HBO, Hulu, whatever it might be, or just plain on-demand that Time Warner has, where I can go watch shows whenever I want. I don't have to stick to this schedule. Well, this show's on Tuesday at 9, so I better be home or I'm going to miss it. That's not the case anymore. We can watch television at our convenience. And I think that this idea of, there's a term called binge viewing of television. There was a show called Breaking Bad that was on AMC. I think it ran between 2008 and 2013. I never saw an episode of it when it actually was on television. Somebody told me you should check this out, it is so good. So I went on Netflix and I just started watching it one day. And I just watched it, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. Not like in order without doing anything else, but I watched it over a period of time. And the beauty was I got to see the show evolve. I got to see the characters grow, and it was just a different way of watching television. So I appeal to you, when you're at home and you're watching TV, put the Kardashians to the side and allow something like The Americans or any other show that you would be interested in that is scripted to come into your lives and produce some quality instead of whatever you want to call the Kardashians. Thank you.